Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am here to share some love, some inspiration, some encouragement. Hopefully today, my intention is to share some simple pointers that may help you find more peace, more joy within your own life. So, brothers and sisters, sincerely, all of you who have already stopped in, those who may be strolling in later as we continue the stream, and those who may tune in at a later time, whatever platform, thank you. Blessings to you. This life we're living is something else, isn't it? You know, the topic for today is Monday blessings. Happy Monday to all of us who are here today, right? And the wish from the graphic, the wish from me for you is, may the Lord smile upon you and grant you joy and success in everything you do for His glory, for the glory of the truth, the glory of the creation, the glory of life and love itself. May the Lord smile upon you and grant you joy and success in everything you do for His glory. And some I've experienced and I learned for myself. The words I shared. Blessings are meant to be discovered and shared with gratitude. It's really pretty simple when you stop and think about that. What's the point of receiving blessings, beauty, joy, prosperity, if you're not gratefully sharing those things with other people? See, grateful service and joyful living bring more smiles, more blessings into the world. It's really that simple. So if you want to feel a life of blessings, become a blessing wherever you go, because what we offer to the world is often returned. Although I say that admittedly, and today, brothers and sisters, it might be a short stream. I do intend on dropping the link here pretty soon, but my energies, admittedly, I've been paying attention and I'm a little off again today. Tonight is Monday night for those who are paying attention to the Talcottian journey. It's city council again this evening. I've heard nothing back from them or anyone else in Spokane or anyone else anywhere else. To be honest, I've heard nothing from anyone, which really perplexes me, because I know the things I'm saying. I know my purpose is to try and make a better world for everyone. Nonetheless, I may or may not head down to city council again today. I mean, my goal is somehow, some way to find people that want to help me and others get before Congress, because it's time our world had better leadership than it has. Let me not get off topic. Rest to know blessings, right? Hey, blessings to you folks already stopping in. Thank you. We do suffer when we forget that we are not these vessels. And that's where I've been trying. Actually, this is kind of the topic that I want to get into. Rest to know blessings. And yes, prayers for those who are still without. You know what? There's so much craziness in this world. People without power, people without food, innocent people locked in prisons, men, women, and children in war zones. This world saddens me sometimes. And today again, I mention it. I'm honest. This live stream that I'm doing, this Talcottian adventure, part of it is my efforts to share inspirations despite the real life situation that I find myself in too. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to keep the lights on, pay the bills, keep the internet on, food in the pantry, just like everyone else. Yesterday in the stream, one of the real parts of the scripture was, or part of the message was in the politics of the soul. One of the important categories for our soul, for our life's well-being, is the pace we live, right? And so this is what transformed my life. And here, the whole point of religions is to help people grow in faith. And what is the result of greater faith? Greater faith gives you a confidence and an appreciation for being. Okay, so this morning, to get out of my head, right, to escape my vessel, actually, it's not so much to get out of my head, it's to redirect my mind, to take my mind off of the problems this vessel is facing. I found learning. Learning is the way I changed my mind, and I encourage you. Learn every day. Learn something new every day and notice what you're learning. Because if you don't notice what you're learning, you're not really bringing it in. And the best way to learn is to absorb, pay attention, then pause and reflect. I'm taking a long intro on this, but the whole point of the religions and faith and the ideas of the scripture and what truly transformed my own inner state, convincing myself it's okay to slow down. It's okay to rest. It's okay to relax. So this morning, to get out of my head, I started a new online course, and it's about communicating with the other than conscious aspects of ourselves, right? There's been a lot of studies and a lot of explanations pointing to the way our minds work regarding our conscious mind and what we're aware of, you know, the information, the logic, the things that we focus our awareness and our attention on, that's there. But beneath the awareness in our consciousness, beneath the stuff that we know, is like a mountain of information that's within us. Because there's an intelligence that moves us, it's within us. And these bodies these vessels we operate and we survive within, I'm talking about the human body. These bodies, these vessels, they are incredible technology, whatever the right word is. The human body is amazing. The mind is a mystery. So in this class today regarding communication, and it does a great job of breaking down, it's things I've learned before, it's just being presented in a different way. And I won't get into too much of it, but one of the great reminders I received today was a very, very simple practice. And so, you know, I do actually intend to practice this as guests join. So I really haven't been paying a lot of attention. For those who wish to join, I did just drop the link and on all the various platforms. So for those who do wish to join, it is now open. But this exercise of rest, the whole point of the practice of meditation, it's to practice and teach your mind to focus, right? What did I write? Focus and concentration, right? And so if you bring your focus and your concentration into you, you can find peace from everything else, the wars, the bills, the arguments, the diagnosis, the discomfort, whatever. So join me. Let's see how easy it is just to be. To be, just make sure you're comfortable. You're not driving. I mean, be safe, but throughout the day, just pause. Allow your eyes to close. Breathe out. As you breathe out, a big breath in and a big breath out, and you close your eyes, it limits your visual, right? So you reduce that visual stimulation. But if you breathe out and just allow yourself to be still and to be present, you can feel your feet on the ground, you can feel your butt, your back, wherever against the chair or wherever you're sitting. If you allow your shoulders to drop, to relax, it allows your breathing to shift from higher in your chest to down lower in your body. And that is the purpose. We want to breathe in through our diaphragm, not so much the shallow breath, mouth breathing type. And then if you can allow the muscles in your forehead to relax, drop your shoulders down and just notice the breath in your nose, the breath in your throat. Feel the breathing breathe and just notice. And as you do that, taking, just a moment, several times a day, taking a moment, detach, just pause, close your eyes, go within, allow your body and your spirit, your nervous system to just relax just for a moment. I forgot an important part. Once you relax, allow yourself to visualize a smile in your heart. You'll feel a smile on your face and in your eyes. And once you find yourself in the stillness and the peace, open your eyes. Continue your day. That's how we're supposed to live. Simply like that, with peace and presence. And with that, a friend of ours, a man who has returned to the spotlight. Welcome back, Tommy. How you doing today, brother?
I am not your friend.
I know.
I'm a friend to truth and truth seekers, truth lovers, and God lovers. That means we're not friends. So don't teach these people the escapism of relaxing. Teach them to find out why they can't relax without your little drama club, deep relaxation, Lamaze breathing technique.
Well, these methods work. And here,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
work
use,
in a moment.
well,
Wouldn't you
right.
rather just
Tom,
live relaxed?
the reason I explain, yes, you want to live relaxed. And
Well, you want to.
the reason I explain this is when you allow your nervous system, your mind, and every part of you just to be,
I'll be
bringing
relaxed when
yourself,
I'm whooping your ass.
bringing yourself into your heart, guess what that does? It
Did you ask
allows
these people how many Kevin Bacons I am from Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali?
the answers that are truly the true answers that are hidden beneath the conscious mind. When the
They're not hidden.
conscious mind stills, it opens the heart, and the true answers from the heart are allowed to rise.
Did you ever ask yourself why Dominic has been reduced to playing this game on that satanic autist panel? Because it
I
don't
don't,
fly no more.
I don't know exactly what you mean, my friend.
I know. So how are you going to guru teach these people when you don't know what I mean?
Apparently, you're not the audience for me.
No, and you're not the audience for me.
All right, so should we part ways then?
Every time I do, you show up. You're like your dad.
You're here.
Right. So Do you want truth? Do you want to understand what you're talking about? Or do you want to be a godless guru?
I'd prefer to have peace. And I can have peace.
I'm at peace when I'd be whooping your ass. I'm
Well,
two Kevin Bacons from
Tom,
Bruce Lee himself.
look, you're playing this game and it's not
I'm not
helpful to
playing
me.
games.
I know, that's what you say. But I'm a man of peace. And I can have peace with Tommy elsewhere. I mean, I respect him. I appreciate him. And yes, he has returned. And for those interested, thank you, Arpol. Part 3 of Loop Loops has already been released. I'm going to admit, brothers and sisters, those of you who are tuned in here and now and maybe checking it out later, just saw the interaction with my friend Tommy. This is part of my frustration today. I don't know what God wants me to do. I keep praying. I keep praying. I keep asking. I keep searching for answers. I'm trying to grow greater because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But for whatever reason, people have not been taking me seriously. And that's frustrating, considering I am a man of peace. I care about love. I care about life. I care truly about what is true. And if I'm right, which it seems to me the facts are on my side, the wars, the government, corporate corruption, all of that shit can end. We don't have to keep enabling this nonsense, these juvenile attitudes, neighbor fighting neighbor, husband beating wife, wife beating kids. We don't have to keep playing this nonsense. Hey, we've got another guest here, another friend. Welcome back, Seven. How are you today, my brother?
Good, because I've been listening to you for a couple of months, and a lot of what you talk about is hard to hear. It's hard to process, but you're right.
Thank you, brother.
You're right. Living in peace and living above the fear right now that hundreds of millions of people are experiencing, being flooded out of their homes, losing everything, wars, destruction. And yeah, man, no wonder people come on here and they confront you, or like I did a couple of weeks ago and had so much fun. But to listen to you is a gift, because we have to take responsibility for what is happening in our lives right now. And we have to understand that if we're going to hurt all day or have a choice to relish in the moment, to embrace and enjoy the gift of life right now. Jack, I've argued with you before. I've gotten on here and not understood what you've talked about. We've spoken on the phone. I am a slave. I literally could break free from working. They don't even give 9 to 8 hour shifts anymore. They kind of, like, employers are breaking down your shifts. They make you take a break. And I am a slave. And to listen to you, I'm going to listen to the whole rest of the video. And I don't have to play congas or dance or caper around. You make me happy. You've got a spirit of joy in you, and you're able to control it and contain it. I can't sometimes, especially when I get around people like you. But when I'm serious, you, man, you make me smile.
Thank you.
And
That's
what
really
you're talking about, taking responsibility. Yeah, yeah. You make me pray. You make me really reflect on the fact, like I did it today, listening to you for over a month now, speaking to you a couple times, as I was a slave, a willing participant in contributing 25% of my income to bombs being dropped all over the world. I chose to consider the couple of friends that I speak to on YouTube who are, they don't have to be praying people. They don't have to be Christians. They just refuse to be sad or angry. They choose the higher road. So you've shown me oh my gosh, you show me how to do that at work in a kitchen that's hot, and I see the higher road. Like, wow, you're blessed to to know that you can even not just be in this kitchen working, but soon you won't even have to be here anymore. It's a higher road. What, like, what's that song? The high road or the low road? At some point, we're going to have to choose the high road, and you're showing me how to do that.
Hey, thank you. Well, we're all in this life together. I said this yesterday on my stream, and I didn't explain myself, but I truly have no fucking clue how my life brought me to this point. I've got a 21-year-old son, a possible grandchild. I fucking love that kid. My neighbors, my fellow coworkers at the Postal Service, I risked my career to make their working conditions better. Not only for 14 years as a union officer, yelling at the bosses when they were yelling at my coworkers. When I flew to DC, my idea was to help make the United States Postal Service a better place to work for everyone, which would also improve the service for the customers. So the fact that things happened the way they did, and I'm coming back to what you said, Seven, because I want to bring it back to where we were. You were offering credit to me, and I thank you for that. I truly, all I want to do is to help people find smiles in their lives, to feel a little lighter in their step, to feel good about the life they're living. Because I lived a life of fucking hell. It was a comfortable hell, don't get me wrong. God blessed me my whole life. But I lived in the darkness of depression, overweight, unhealthy, addicted, just miserable. And I escaped.
Well, that's where they want us. That's where they want us. And I can be addicted to a lot of things, but and like I said, I'm just interjecting just to let you know. You speak some hard facts. You say some things that, especially a man child like me, doesn't want to hear at first. But you're right. We are responsible for our suffering today, or our gratitude, not just thankfulness. Because Katy Perry put out a song, "Today I'm thankful. Scratch that, baby, I'm grateful. Baby, it's been a while. I finally got back my smile. Smile, I'm thankful. Scratch that, baby, I'm grateful. Actually, it's been a while, but finally I got back that smile. Smile. Every day, same old day, Groundhog Day." You talk about the hard fact that if you're broke, if you ain't got no food in the fridge, if you've lost everything, it's still your sovereign right to be joyful and grateful. Whoa.
It's hard to do that when you're alone, when you're facing those lacks, when you're facing the challenges. It's hard to remember to be grateful. But the reality is, and Seven, thank you. I mentioned this recently too. The truth, a lot of people have found offense with me. I'm trying to improve. I'm not trying. I am improving my methods of communicating. I'm consciously, maybe this one is a try. I'm trying to grow back into my compassion. I noticed I haven't been real compassionate for people, and that's why I guess I upset a lot of people, because I say what I say, but the truth isn't offensive. The truth is humbling. And I have been humbled. God has humbled me. God has used people to humble me and mock me and beat me and steal from me, but whatever. You were grabbing something, Seven. What's your thoughts?
Oh, nothing.
All right.
Okay, I'll say it. Last night I went live and I spoke about John chapter 4. A Samaritan woman meets her Messiah. And I know that these books have all been very much manipulated. The wording has changed a whole lot. But he, talk about humbling. Go call your husband, verse 16, John chapter 4 in the New Testament, verse 16. Jesus said to her, go. Well, hold on. I got to back up. Verse 7, which I think is interesting because Jesus walked alone a lot. Yahuwah, whatever we want to call him, and any fighting on YouTube over pronunciation, that's what we're all here together.
We know who you mean. Yeah.
This man walked alone a lot, and he met a woman that was alone. She was a Samaritan, but she was a woman of ill repute. And man, in the ancient days, women did not walk alone in Arabic towns or Hebrew towns, Egyptian towns, nowhere. They went in groups, but she was alone. And he met her at the well because she went to the well after the people went there, after they let the camels and the donkeys drink, she got to go. And he went there at the same time. A woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, give me a drink, for his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. Then the woman of Samaria said to him, how is it that you, being a Jew, ask for a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. Jesus answered and said to her, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that says to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. So I'm going to skip 11 through 12 and get to 13. Jesus answered and said to whoever drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him or her will never thirst. But the water that I shall give him or her will become in him or her a fountain of springing up everlasting life. And it's hard to hear that sometimes. And that can only come if you've got a heart that is rooted in joy all day, not bitterness over having $5 in your pocket. That's what I've learned from you. And it was hard to hear. It was hard to hear, Jack.
It was hard for me to learn too. I mean, I had to experience the loss of everything that used to matter to me for me to realize that the only thing that matters to me is me, my joy, my health, my freedom, my peace. That is the only thing that matters. And all of that, freedom,
in this
joy.
exact moment. In this exact moment, right? See, that's what's hard for a lot of people to hear on your chats in this exact moment. Because if you have, and folks, there are Buddhists, Hindu, non-believers, atheists that watch my channel. They all love knowing that I don't care really. There's no, you can be sexually, however you identify. But what you're talking about is being able to attach yourself to joy at 9 o'clock in the morning as you're in traffic going to work, instead of worrying about the red light, the green light, getting there, not getting there, the person who cut you off. There's a caution that comes with, there's a preparation that comes with being joyful. That is what I've been learning from you. And like I keep saying, it was kind of hard to hear it for a couple times you talked about it live. I was like, what does he mean? How can I have that kind of joy right now? But if I
He
don't,
didn't teach you.
then my day is awful. When I do
Seven,
what
quit
you're
giving
talking
him the
about,
credit for what you've learned from that book yourself. Like,
okay.
God bless you if the word of God has taught you. This man can't even follow it, much less teach it.
So
Well, am I supposed to stay here, Jack? Because this is where I leave, right?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you. I mean, I'd stay just to
Hey,
listen to you. I mean,
Seven,
I love
thank
you,
you.
bro.
I love you too.
No, and the last
Tommy,
time I was here, this stuff, the Tommy stuff, and everybody else started. So I started playing guitar, and me and the one dude went and got swords, and I was having such a good time. It was the first time I'd had a day off in weeks. The sun was blazing through that window, but man, I learned because you told me it was like we spoke on the phone afterwards. Man, I'm here to learn. I'm not here to caper.
well, I try to give people a chance. Tommy, I'm not going to bring you back up on this stream. Okay. So I'll at least give you that respect of a
Kind
heads
of
up.
sucks,
Just
I mean, we could.
no point staying in the back. Okay. Because what you're offering, Tommy, was attacks. It's not truth. It's just what you think. It's true for you that I lack knowledge of the many Bibles that I have here all around me, which you assume I don't look at. But this is the thing too. The Bible, it's a mystery. It is a true mystery. It's an incredible collection of literature with very, very inspiring wisdom within it. Tommy, it's a mystery because this book is written for everyone. The Satanists can find their excuses. The warmongers can find their examples. And then the people who want to know the love of God, it's all right there. It's all right there. All right, Tommy. I love you, brother. He got booted.
Sin confessed.
Hey, that living water, what you were saying too, for Jesus to say that if she was to know who he was and seek a drink from him, he would offer forth the water that would never need to be replaced. And that water it is the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. And that Holy Spirit, it walks with us and it brings us joy and comfort, answers. The Spirit that's with me, the Spirit of intelligence, man, I have so much fun. God and I have a fucking blast every day. Well, let me not exaggerate, because today, I already said I wasn't having a blast. I kind of got in my head. But
Me too. But I thought of you. I thought of your words. I also spoke to another couple of awesome frontliners and sky watchers, prayer warriors. And not once today did I give up on this joy that I learned from some of those other people, but it was pivotal that I became friends with you. I don't know quite how we met. Well, through Venus Cupcake, because you talk about the linchpin, you talk about the nails being driven in. And I'm not talking about anything about. I'm talking about the railroad tracks. I'm talking about the track to happiness. Like we think that there's some path to peace that we got to grind all day to get to it and worry about how little money we're making or how hot it is. What I've learned from Jack Talcott, and I'm saying this to YouTube and to social media and to the composer, the one from on high who is not the God of this world. I only could have learned this kind of discipline from this man. I'm a man. I'm a single man. I've got 2 kids, much in the same situation as Jack is in terms of the distancing between me and my babies. I, I've learned that staying away from family is a kind of a good idea right now, but finding a bum on the street and giving him $2 is a blessing. I've learned that happiness is like not even an inch. It's not a mile away, 6 months away, getting out of debt away. It's not even a prayer away. It's
right now.
And that's why I want to listen to him more and talk less, because where is I think that might have to do with what's awesome about my notes and my research is it has to do with quantum, whatever's watching us right now, the fact that time is sped up 10 minutes over the last 6 years, it's about to be 11 minutes. I'm going to take notes, because how do you find that? How was I able to do it today? How, for the last couple of weeks, how have I been able to gain access to it's quantum entanglement? That's what it is, because I know what quantum is. But how I'm able to, before I even snap my fingers and say I'm going to be joyful and love like you have behind you. How does it happen? I'm not stupid. I know it's because I stay in touch with really smart channels, really smart subscribers, really smart researchers, and I listen to Jack, even though sometimes it hurts to hear what he's saying. How is that piece there? Because it must be there before it's even there, which is what you're
It is.
teaching.
This is what I've learned. It's the way we're designed, the way the world has corrupted us. We are raised and developed. What's normalized in this world is excuses, blame, unworthiness, shame. And you see so many people. I mean, I even see a number of them in the chat here where they just want to cast around all sorts of shame and insults, make people feel worse about themselves. That's not healthy. So to break those patterns, Seven, the question, and you know it, it is quantum, right? The space and the time, well, the space or the time and the form are actually just perceptions.
Yeah, the third dimension. Yeah.
It could be said we are living in God's dream of life. We are each individual thought forms, eternal souls who are having a temporary experience of mortality here on earth. And here, the point is, Seven, happiness, joy. What I found for myself to get out of my worries, to get out of my stinking thinking, I remind myself, well, what is obvious? I've humbled myself. I accept there is an eternal, omnipresent, powerful, perfect God, the composer, right? That God is beyond form, space, or time. And even in the Bible, it says we worship God through the Spirit. God is the Spirit. We worship with the Spirit.
Well,
The
that's why I
Spirit.
like that's why I like the Samaritan woman.
Mhm.
I like what he says, and I like being able to pinpoint how they changed the verbiage in the King James, NIV, uh, uh, any of them. Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We know what we worship." That was not the original language. It was not. He said the Jews worship with what they know and what they worship. For salvation is of the Jews. It did not say that those words exactly. Now, give me. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to freak out in the chat, but give me a moment. But the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father is seeking such to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. I'm telling you, man, it was worded different, especially in the King James, which I damn near memorized. It said he it said, but the hour is coming and now is when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, neither on a mountain or in the temple, but in spirit and in truth. I mean, the words in my Bibles change. It changed.
Well, Seven, here, I actually think because of the Mandela effects, the changes in everything, I actually believe this is God's plan for us to show us. It's time for us to start thinking for ourselves, not worshiping the past, not worshiping books, actually living life. And here, what I found for myself, I said this yesterday. I didn't really understand God or the Bible because I never really looked. Once I started looking, it actually makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
When you look at God beyond just a physical, when you look at God as a power, as a force, as something beyond our limited comprehension, I started entertaining these ideas for myself. God is eternal. Christ which is the heart of God given to mankind for us to learn from, Jesus, Yeshua, whatever the correct name is. I was raised with Jesus, and I'm getting pretty comfortable with that is what I'll be using until I'm shown differently. But here's the point. Just like when we experience different people will say the same things different ways. And those different ways can be taken in different meanings, but they may be pointing at the same thing. And that's what these Bibles are doing. There's different interpretations. And yes, as I said, that book is perfect. That book was used to justify slavery in America. Christian slave owners lived in America. And who do you think's running our damn governments and our corporations today? Christian slave owners. Let me back that up. People who call themselves Christians, they hide behind those titles.
He's kind of right.
Well, thank you, Seven. I mean, honestly, what my life allowed me to learn was how to humble, how to accept, and surrender. And once I did that, that's what the Bible's teaching us. Surrender to God in the present, because now is the only opportunity we can do anything whatsoever.
Well,
hey, we've got another guest here.
Oh, okay,
I think
cool.
this one is good.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Denizen. How are you, brother?
Greetings. I'm well. How are you guys?
Doing well.
And how are you, Seven? Is it Seven?
Yes, sir.
How are you today? Pretty chill?
Well, I'm blessed because I'm
Oh,
learning
that's good.
how to find just great joy in the moment. It's a hard lesson to learn, and I'm learning it from Jack, but a few other people too. But it's tremendous to be learning this. I'm ecstatic, and I've got today off and 2 more days off, so I'm
Good
free.
to hear.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm well. I gotta sit on my hands to stop myself from clapping.
Why?
I'm alive. Another day.
Yeah, brother.
Another opportunity.
Yeah, man.
It is. I used to dread waking up in the mornings, getting up out of bed. Oh, it was such a chore, man. Such a chore. But these days, I mean, honestly, it took me a long time, and I'm not above anyone. I know that. Okay, but I have found myself on a very spiritual path. And in my life experience, I've explained many of the factors, and people want to blame me for what happened, but I was allowed the opportunity to surrender. God has proved to me over and over, this ain't my life. This is God's life I'm living. I used to hate it. I used to complain about it. I used to resent it. I don't have a choice. This is the life I'm living. And you're living your life, right? And so if we can break our habits of complaining, guess what? We feel better, and the people around us have a better time as well. Go ahead, Seven. If you
Oh,
had
I would.
okay.
Well, you could sense it through the phone. Yeah, I'll be able to say like one sentence or 2 sentences, a paragraph. Since I've been studying you, I've been carrying myself different at work.
Good for you.
I have enough gas to get there. It's really hot outside. Get in there. I've got free water and soda pop, and I can nibble. I'm carrying myself differently because I know that I can find this joy that obviously must have been there before I was able to find it. That's what I'm learning from you. So I'm just geeked. I'm taking notes about your name and your channel because I go live. I have a big channel, kind of, sort of. But dude, I mean, you're teaching me things that are in line with Geneva Cordoba and this young man named Christian M who knows about scripture. Like, this is not weird. Like, we're all connected in some cool way that can make. I'm just writing down Jack Talcott. I wasn't going to say none. Keep talking.
We're all connected by time. That's one thing I've observed, and it's undeniable. I mean, in this present moment, the three of us in different places in the world, we are sharing this time, as is everyone in the chat. And we'll share time with technology later with people, but time connects us all. There is no reason for us to be fighting and competing against each other the way that the world has designed it. I really see there's something else I was going to jump in with, but we got another guest here. I'm going to play this out. Welcome, Ozymandias.
Oh yeah, that was a name change from.
I was wondering if it was the real Flo. What's up, buddy?
It's the real Flo.
It is the real one. Welcome. Good to see you, brother.
You too.
Chuck, what's up?
So here, we got another guest here too.
It's
Welcome,
me.
Hank. Did you wrap yours up?
Hank!
Yeah, I wrapped mine up and I took a nap.
Hey, good for you.
Yep.
Where were we at? Time. Here.
Just talking about time.
Time, yes. And how I found I bounced around on a few different things. My experience in the past. I mean, I watched my life crumble. And despite everything I could think of to do, my life crumbled around me. And so I had to keep my sanity, I had to find a way to deal with that. And we all go through our own dark night of the soul. And that's what this was for me. My life, everything crumbled around me, and I had to figure out who the hell I was. And I didn't like being afraid. I didn't like being angry. I wasn't about to allow myself to start drinking again. So that meant I had to redefine me. And to redefine me, to escape my anger and my worries, I had to surrender. I had to just, okay, fine. This is what the past is the past. This is where you are today. Now what the fuck are you going to do, Jack? This is where you are. That's how I've been living since 2018, day by day, hour by hour. And it's getting more and more, I'd like to say more fun, but this morning, again, proved me wrong. But here, my power to surrender came with the convincing myself God is eternal, Christ is eternal. I am temporary. These problems are temporary. These feelings are temporary. The conditions will all pass. So if I'm here today and God is here, I started practicing those ideas from the Bible. Rest and know. And so that's kind of the topic of today. How to rest and know. It starts by resting. Resting and allowing your body, your nervous system, your breathing to slow, your mind to slow, allowing you to become one with the present, one with God. And if we surrender ourselves to God, and this was the part too, I had to stop fighting the past. I had to accept the past for what it was. And I've been dreaming about playing a part of ending wars for a long time. I've dreamed about being successful. I've dreamed about being well received, supported. I had to surrender my future dreams as well, because I kept failing, getting mad at myself for failing. So I don't give up. I mean, that's why I'm here again today. This is part of my path, trying to find others who want to unite and to see if we can. I don't know if we can end wars. I want to try, and I'm looking for others who want to join. So if anyone is interested in trying to connect or, see what we can do, please reach out. Explore the links and the phone number. Holy cows. We do have a guest. Welcome, Paul. How are you doing today? Are you there? Successful, well-received support. Mr. Wake Up Call. Well, there's another man. He offers the truth, often in offensive ways, creates a lot of disagreements. Me and Paul were kind of mirrors of each other. And
Well, Jack, can I be one of your mirrors? Can I be one of your mirrors sent from above? Because I took notes on what you were talking about. First off, time is speeding up. Since 2016, we're actually moving in terms of everything that's plugged into the World Wide Web and being watched by it, the quantum consciousness. We're sped up. And I spoke to Army, the dude that I work with that served 2 years in Iraq. We're 1 month and about 11 minutes almost ahead of time.
What do you mean by time?
Yeah, I'm going to let Hank take over. Go ahead, Hank. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a no. I just didn't understand. But how do you define time? Because I don't understand what you mean when you
The
say
real
time is speeding
timeline.
up.
Okay, the real timeline. They're high. Okay, CERN is about to build a bigger CERN underneath CERN. It's not going to be like 20 or 27 or 17. There's conflicting reports on how wide the diameter of CERN is, but they're about to build a 90 kilometer circular bigger CERN underneath CERN. I mean, the Temple of Apollyon, Abaddon. There's huge caverns under there, ancient caverns, and they're about to build a bigger particle collider. They're hiding us from the return of.
right.
And again, I don't want to get religious, but they're hiding us in time.
Well,
There's over 30,000 particle. There are over 30,000 particle colliders. China's building a huge one. They probably have a bunch of them in orbit or whatever the water up there is. They are hiding us in time.
Well, there's many theories, many explanations of things that are happening. And let's face it, CERN is only one of the many, many, many things that are happening in this world right now, where groups of people are coming together, doing their own fucking agenda, not really worried about what the rest of the world thinks. But I don't know how it's going to happen, but the stuff that's the DARPA programs, all of these government programs that are just so deeply funded, and they're doing all this stuff in the dark without actually real true oversight. And this is why the world is as nuts as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I don't know the future. I have no clue what God's got planned for us, but
well, there's 2 suns. I can tell you that. Maybe 3 of them. We all know that.
Well, the world will know the truth when secrets are no longer legal, don't you think? Because when secrets are no longer...
Hank is the boy. Hank, man.
I'm trying to...
Sorry.
Well, again, I'm trying to understand, what can I do or say for people to take this a little more seriously? Because the world we live in, everybody seems to know the banking systems are corrupt. The governments and the corporations, all those laws that all these uniformed people want to enforce, it's all for the banking scam. Why are we continuing this and not confronting it? Hey, welcome, Wildheart. Good to see you back.
Good to see you again, Wildheart.
Good to see you, man. Hello.
Glad you're back, Wildheart.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Hey, actually, ETG, what I'm suggesting is legality is defending criminals today. I mean, there's so many examples of the corrupt politicians, the corrupt CEOs, the corrupt gamblers on Wall Street. They're all getting paid to do this shit, to steal people's pensions, to steal people's homes. Why are we not stopping this?
Because some of us are skywatchers.
And here, this
it's going to unveil itself.
No, hold on. Skywatchers are just, you know what? I don't want to be insulting. Let's come back to here and now. Okay. What's here and now?
Okay, sorry.
Right? Here and now, Jack is talking about doing things, not talking about skywatchers. Okay?
Well, I'm just saying that the Bible says that the sky is going to open up like a scroll, and when it does, we're all going to get
out of your imagination
involved. That's all I was saying, dude. We're all going to. Everybody's going to really want to do something. That's all I was saying, bro.
You're right.
I'm going to listen.
There is an awakening happening right now all around the world. People are awakening to different aspects of life. And ETG, I see your. Let me follow up this. Why I'm focused on legal secrets. Okay. I want secrets to no longer be defended. Okay. Legality has never stopped criminals. I've answered your question, ETG. You're asking the wrong question. If you really want to understand, why don't you ask me why I'm set on ending legal secrets? It's really pretty simple. When people truly understand the criminality of this banking system and the Federal Reserve, when bosses and CEOs are no longer keeping secrets, non-disclosure agreements, right? All of these attorney special deal contracts and shit. All of these corporations and governments are keeping secrets, telling their employees partial truths, keeping them confused. Then the employees, they don't want to ask questions because the school in America is for conditioning, not for education. So all of these conditioned workers who've been conditioned to do what they're told, not ask too many questions, just be good and obedient. All of these employees in the news media, all of the aides to the congressmen, and all of these other these people are enabling lies for a paycheck. Everybody in this nation seems to be enabling lies for paychecks.
Well, it's not everyone. We have great people like Louis Rossman and Level 1 Tech Tips going after deceivers in corporate America, especially the tech companies. So these people fighting back. It's just a hard fight.
Yeah, and no one here is taking checks for corrupt behavior. No one here works.
Well, I work, so I'm probably doing it.
Work my ass off, but
Seven works his ass off.
And my initials are Anthony Seven's fault, so it's kind of.
I leech off the system.
Well, yeah, good for you, dude. You rock. Will you adopt me? Kid.
Me too, to be fair.
If you join my Discord, I'll teach you how to do it.
Well, I suck at computers. I'm a horticulturist and a musician. My hands belong in dirt, on congas, or a woman's beautiful body. I don't know computers.
I can't even turn my phone off and on. I hate technology.
Hey,
this stuff
hey,
scares me,
Seven.
man.
Hey, Seven, please
Yeah.
step
Sorry.
back.
I'll shut
Thank
up. Yep.
you.
I mean, you can. Yeah, I will. I know.
God, just get back in the now already.
Right.
Well,
If I can just say,
Sorry.
if you hate technology, maybe YouTube on a mobile phone isn't the place for you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
fair observation, Hank, and you were right. That was an accurate correction. I misspoke. There's many people who are enabling the lies just for a paycheck. But like Hank pointed out, there's also many people standing up and doing some amazing things these days. There's a lot of groups that are getting together through the court systems, through other methods. There's a lot of groups and people waking up, uniting with different ways. I've tried uniting with some of those groups. Hasn't been my path. So I ventured out on my own, and it brought me to here, and I'm still seeking to find a group that wants to try, that can understand the benefit of having a world where secrets and lies are not the norm.
I feel like Joe Cool's dad was agreeing with you up there, Jack.
Okay.
Like he seems like someone who's going to work with you. That is Joe Cool's dad, right? Seven?
Hank? No.
No, Seven.
Seven? No.
Oh.
They're friends. I think they're friends. Not related. I don't know. Hey, actually, Paul, I want to have some fun with you, because maybe
in public? In front of everyone here?
Well,
Sure,
Yeah,
why not?
please.
Well,
It
we're
might-
adults here.
it might be at you. Some of these might be untimely,
Oh.
but I love that.
Now like even the phrase though, can we have fun with the phrase? Because it's like, I don't encourage you, nor can I discourage you, right? That's between you and God and your truth and faith. If it wasn't, then you and I would have been discouraged long ago, wouldn't you think? We have so many haters and detractors.
They've been allowing us to strengthen. They have.
Yeah, I'm not powerful enough to discourage you, Jack. That's the good news here.
Wait, are we fighting now? Because that's when I leave.
No.
Oh, yeah, we got it. No,
Okay,
we're
cool.
not fighting.
All right, cool.
We'll let all the
No,
women
we-
know when it's time to leave when we decide to fight. Don't worry, Mr. Cool.
All right. There's actually an underlying story here. If you can just roll with it. At the first, we had our disagreements and we didn't see eye to eye, and we've been battling a little bit.
Wait, that's me as the horned devil? I just caught that. Man, I am grotesque. You somehow made me more grotesque than I already am naturally. So thank you for that.
Well, and now you're petite, learning from the
Right. These are fairly interesting.
Well,
This
and
is
then
Jack, man. He's teaching us.
After we battle and after we share, then we get closer, and I work on your side. It's okay. He didn't have a mama.
Okay, someone's got to work on the Photoshop there, because it's obviously not like that one right there is obviously just my face on a white gorilla. We got to get better with the fading on that.
Well, and then after we find
That's you and I as a gay couple. Okay, I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, we can hang out,
Provocative,
together,
inclusive.
White people are crazy. Y'all crazy.
Hey, I've had those.
That was a joke.
I kept meaning.
We know it was a joke, sir. You're not black. You're one of the Biden non-voters. He's a Trump voter. He's not black.
I know. Sorry.
I've never once heard a black man say, "If you guys are going to fight, I'm leaving now." It's not how that goes.
No, I want to join in.
Right. When it comes to fighting, fucking black people are all in. I know. I've been around these people.
This is funny. This is really cool.
These people.
Yeah, that was weird that you said that, but it's okay. That's
Just to be
Jack,
clear, I also refer to Jack and others as these people. It's not
yeah,
one person.
I know. That's why
Hey,
I
yo,
love
it's Vinny Pots and Pans. Shout out to Vinny Pots and Pans.
Wait, I think Scripture calls us peculiar people.
And shout out to Yum Yum.
I think it's actually scriptural. We're peculiar people. This is so much fun. I've got 2 days off and all night. So I've got 3 days off, really, if I think about it. And some people love me enough to where I've got some friends and family and Hank is here. I mean, whenever I see Hank, I'm just like, yo. And whenever and now that I know that Jack is trying to just teach us how to not just love ourselves, but love the moment. And if you're able to love the moment, that means that there was something in you that could perceive the moment. So you're not just loving the moment; it was loving you before it even started, boy. That's why I love Jack. That's why I love all of y'all here tonight.
I love Jack because if you keep talking and boring me, he's going to start making faces and shut you up. And then we're going to get back to him and potentially me.
What did you talk about? I like your like my grandpa and my uncle started the biggest radio station probably ever, WBN.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to even right now. Let's wrap it up.
You have a
Let's
really
get back
cool
to
voice.
Jack.
So talk.
No, seriously. It's not that great. Let's go back to Jack. Jack, back to you.
Yeah. You do have a good voice, though. I like your voice.
Paul does have a good voice. Good.
Jack, is he a good guy or a bad guy?
What's that?
Is he a good guy or a bad guy on your channel? Because you have good guys and bad guys here. Kind of shootouts and.
There's bad guys here? Who's the bad guy? You mean Hank?
People are people. There's no good guys.
All right, I'm with Jack. Come
on. Paul has been. I'd like to consider him a friend, but he's been damn challenging for me. And that's
Jack. Just to be clear, my friends don't consider me a friend. Okay.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I've actually.
Yeah.
I was this way a long time ago too, but I didn't realize it about myself. I thought I hated people. Today, I don't.
Yeah.
Hate I really don't. I see everyone as a potential friend, even my enemies. Because that was a line I learned from. I picked up from something from Lincoln years and years ago. When we turn an enemy into a friend, guess what? There's two enemies gone, and we want a more peaceful world. So, I want a more peaceful world.
Kind of butchered the quote, but we get it.
Yeah, I did butcher it. I think he asked the question, do I not eliminate an enemy when I make an enemy a friend? I think that was his actual thing. But the point is true. We don't have to be enemies. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's the whole point of especially the message of the Christ. He was there to unite the world, everyone together. And
Jack, don't go there because I'm going to have to come in and correct you with what it actually said. It said, I come to bring the peace and division.
Correct.
I come to turn father against son, daughter against mother.
That's why God invented fruitcake.
At that time, that is exactly what he did, because the world did not have the example or the answers yet. But once there's an example and the answers given, it's our job to learn. And his role was to create this separation between those who believe in lies, those who want to just be menacing enforcers of the law of the past. He wanted those to be separated from those who truly knew and truly loved.
Can I bring in?
I just want to remind you, as you say that you did actually on previous broadcasts say the best time to implement your changes are during an authoritarian regime. You're even shrugging now because you're agreeing, which makes my case. So then I wonder, well, if we're reflections of that idea, then which one are you and which one am I?
Jack, can I say something that's based in historical fact and the study of the Old Testament versus the New Testament and why Yahuwah came? And will this guy allow me? Because this is so cool to be here with you all. The God of the Old Testament is actually Yaldabaoth. He was in a tabernacle and required blood sacrifice outside all the time, and just the destruction of every city that those people came in contact with, and blah 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 blah. Yahuwah came, and at the age of 12, he disappeared for how long? I think 20 something years. He went to Egypt, Nepal, India. He learned all of the secrets of the good that we have, and then he came. The New Testament was a story. And what did he say? He came to destroy the temple. The temple, which they're about to build a third one of, and Elon Musk is involved in it and stuff. The tabernacle had a demon in it, Yaldabaoth, the God of the Old Testament that required blood sacrifice, virgin sacrifice, slaughter. So, like, I really respect the fact that Jack stands up for what I know to be Yahuwah. We can call it him Jesus. And believe me, for 40,000 years before, there were 7 other Christ figures that came. Man, I mean, this is just so cool.
7. Did you know that in the long run, everyone's saved, though? In the long run, everyone is saved.
Everyone. Yes. It says it in the book of Revelation. Everyone, even people, maybe, I don't know, I got to study this deeper, but maybe even people in hell.
Even Satan?
Yes.
Well, there's Satan and then there's Lucifer. They're 2 different beings. Trust me.
Yes, of course.
Back to Jack.
Well, okay,
yes.
but somebody started arguing with Jack about Yahuwah, and Jack knows Yahuwah. He does.
Well, but you're the one who interrupted me from being able to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody got in a fight with you.
No,
first.
I didn't see a fight.
Nah.
It's just.
I'm sorry.
It was an imagined disagreement, and it's nothing Jack doesn't get constantly here and that he can't handle. Okay, please.
I think it was Paul's. I think it was the energy you might have picked up on, but it's not a It's not.
I'm insanely combative. He's picking up on that, is what it is. He was thrown off.
Yeah, you ooze it, dude.
I kind of do.
I know,
and that's why we call him Pussy Paul.
Hey,
right. But you wouldn't call me that to my face in the same room with me. We know that. That's why it's okay. It's all fantasy online.
Oh, of course I'll come to you in the same room.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. And the only reason you would, because I can't beat up a black retard. They'll take me off the air. They'll cancel me. All right, go ahead, Jack. Back to Jack.
Tried.
All right, yeah, anyway, back to Jack.
I want to go back to implementing these ideas under the authoritarian regime. Because, yes, I did say that. I view the current structures of today as an authoritarian regime. So what better opportunity to implement change when the people have already given their power away? So let's go confront the people who have the power. If the masses don't want their fucking power and they want to give it away, they certainly don't know what they're doing. So my role as a union guy, I'm comfortable being a voice for the voiceless. I have no problem standing up where others won't, saying what others are afraid to say. Kind of like Paul, but different. And the idea is, if we don't, sincerely, there is so much news between the infiltration of what the World Economic Forum has done, all of these other organizations. Now my mind is blanking.
Yeah, Stern's firing up. Give it 5 minutes. You'll be all right, brother.
Well, the Council on Foreign Relations, all of these other groups too. They've infiltrated the governance and the control it's been sold. This free market that everyone's been fighting and going around the world to spread, this free market has sold our freedoms away. And if we don't do something soon, we're going to continue facing more censorship. They're going to continue rolling out more control. I just watched something earlier, and it made an observation on the economic plans. What's the guy with BlackRock? Fink? Is that his name? Anyway, the guy at BlackRock in these other wealth builders, the way one of the theories, the way they're going to roll out this new digital currency with the digital ID and all this stuff, the best way to bring in a new currency is to completely devalue the other one. Well, those printing machines are pretty well fucking worn out over the past few years, I think. There's people making plans, not only for the CERN, but for the worldwide currency. There's people doing all sorts of evil in this world, telling themselves they're doing good things.
Washing my laundry in my bathtub, drying my shit outside.
That was perfectly on topic. Thanks, Seven.
Come on, man. I got laundry outside. You know what? What, $10 to wash your drawers? I mean, if there's one thing I'm learning from Jack is make joy. You know, if you got a bunch of lemons, if all you got is some.
I think you
First,
froze.
you gotta have internet, though. Step one, you gotta have internet.
I am the internet.
No,
it's in my head. As long as I have some clean drawers on, dry these motherfuckers.
Hey, Seven.
Clip it.
Yeah,
I
bud.
am the internet.
He mentioned your internet. While you want to continue going on and not really consider what he said, you froze. Okay, you froze.
Sorry.
Your internet froze, and that's why your internet was pointed out. And I'm all about, please, and I don't mean to be rude, but I'm all about having fun and being joyful.
Sorry.
But are you sharing joy by showing us your damn laundry on the banister?
No, I'm trying to show that there are millions of people all over the world that don't even have electricity. I wasn't trying to do anything wrong, Jack.
I know you weren't.
I really wasn't.
I know you weren't. I know. I just don't
mean,
think you were
I don't
thinking
think
about what was going on.
I think about. I'm sorry. I'll probably leave the chat because I'm always a distraction. I'm really sorry, everybody. I love you, Jack. I learned so much from you. I mean, there's just so many millions, hundreds of millions of people all over this world that are going to have to start adapting to everything that you're saying. Thank you, Jack. I love you.
Love you too, Seven. Thank you, brother. You are welcome. But I'm going to honor you stepping out. I appreciate it. Thank you. Before the laundry. Well, I don't know what our future's going to bring, but I do know that based on the life I have lived, I don't feel like I have much choice other than to do what I'm doing. What I'm doing, while it appears I'm just hanging out online every day, if you actually listen to the words, I care about this world we're sharing. I have faith that there is better ways for our world to live. And I can't see not trying. Now that I've gotten these ideas in my head well, I know I'm not, I can't say I know. I trust I am not wrong when I say that, in my life, I took the word God and I figured out how that might actually be in my life. And I identified God as the truth. I worship the truth. And the truth sets us free. It sets us free of our conflicts, our deception, our confusion. The truth brings freedom. How do we claim to be free in America when we know the media is lying to us? We have borders on the borders, right? We got these patrols and people that want your paperwork so you can travel. And I know in America, oh, you can travel freely, but can you? I mean, Paul's been dealing with that for a while. We're not free in America. And to give Seven some credit to the point he was making, there are literally hundreds of millions. That's a big number. Millions and millions of people. Food scarcity, no home, no clean water. You know, we are blessed. If you're tuned in here and now, you've got the comfort, the convenience of technology. You've at least got some peace where you're not slaving a job or you're not trying to survive in a war. I just don't know.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these things that we think are rights or privileges, we have to fight for. So we need to identify them and make sure we're doing our part to make sure we still have them.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, there's no denying we have fights in this world. There's things that are worthy of fighting for, of dying for, right? There's things that we should be standing up for. But if we're going to fight, I am nonviolent. And, but again, that's why I think God has had me live this life I've been living. I learned how to fight with my fists and feet, and then I learned how to fight with weapons, and then I learned how to fight with my words.
Yeah, you fight with this, the permanent marker. Very strong weapon.
The power of words carries through eternity. And the power of word, actually bring it back into ourselves and the topic too, to rest, to know the blessings. The first key is to allow your body, mind, spirit to rest in the present. And then after bringing peace, bringing your mind into your breath and into the space within your body, then you train, you focus your mind on gratitude, on peace, or from a place of peace and stillness. Then you can objectively review. You can scan through your memories and look at the problems and see things from a different place. The power of the mind can bring peace or hell. And that's what they say too. The distance between hell and heaven is about 12 inches or so, right? Somewhere in there. You can go from hell into heaven, and that's exactly what happened with me. I was living in hell. I found a way to release myself from the past, to allow my mind and spirit to rest in the present. And it was done by bringing my mind and my mind into me and connecting with my heart. It really was that simple for me. But then it takes practice.
It's so hard to find it, even though they're so close, because you have to navigate 6 dimensions. So,
Jack, I don't know if you commented on it already, and if this is driving as in my usual way toward like an area that we don't want to go, it's a no-go. Can we get a commentary, unless obviously you don't want to, on the what some might say to be the completely staged earshot of Donald Trump in order to like drag everyone back into idol worshiping, a whoremongering, vax pushing, gun taking without due process, Babylonian slave master? and not even like a good illusion, like one of the worst ever. They're all buying right into it, as is predictable. Your thoughts on any of that? Because I'm fucking fascinated once again.
I spoke on it briefly yesterday, and I've heard news both ways. People calling it, complete fakery in Hollywood, and others saying, "Hey, time to get the ammo, get the gun, time to go to war." Right? So, dude, my concern is that whether it was real or fake, it has the potential consequence of spreading violence, spreading division, spreading hate. And, well, this is why all the more reason I believe, I've said this, and I'm pausing because I'm losing my faith in this, but I still believe there's ways that we can find a way to interrupt these sick fucking political and economic games before November. I really believe we can.
Okay, so let me lay it all out here. If by some insane stroke of fate or ill stroke of fate, whatever my dad's terrible fucking book is, you get the point. If by some insane stroke of fate, I become like a billionaire like Antoine, instead of buying private jets and nonsense, like I actually get this community completely set up on the ground and I bring you and others down there, are you willing to actually be activists and potentially go to jail, not following statute, policy, and code to get the law of the land and spiritual faith recognized again? Like we may actually have to throw ourselves on the gears of the system to make a change. Like the hippies used to do. Remember that whole thing, Vietnam, Jack? You were there. Got to throw yourself on the gears of the system in order to get recognition for the truth. You got to become the example.
Sometimes it becomes so odious.
So I actually have a comment on that thing. So I live and work in Pittsburgh. All their behaviors from all the people at the event, that's what I expect. I live and work with these people every day. So there's nothing that happened that surprised me. So I think it's totally legit.
I think it's bizarre that our poll in the chat, and then Jack, go ahead. I just think it's so bizarre that they would support my father's book and tell people to support it when he even admitted online that X amount of the proceeds would go to me, and I still didn't do it, proving that I would put money and nepotism and personal favors aside for what I perceive to be what's true and what's right versus hypocrisy. And instead of folks standing with me on that in truth, they would rather do what they think is going to get under my skin and be a liar in the open and a hypocrite in the open. It's kind of bizarre.
That's too bad, Pussy Paul. That's too bad.
Well, I wasn't looking for sympathy. I was just calling it as it is. But I wasn't even talking to you. I was speaking to Jack.
Hey, two things on that compound. When you make it big and you build that compound, dude, by then I intend to already have been before Congress and the UN, so you won't have to worry about filling the jails anymore. You'll be safe.
Well, Jack, I mean, as much as I'd like to trade on that, I have a hard time believing that. But hey, if you can get it done and you can promise me a full diplomatic immunity or congressional pardon, I'm not going to turn it down, I guess, but again, if it's only for me, then I have to turn it down, because what good is like DeCastro becoming governor just so we get pardoned if everyone else has to get slaved? This is like rights objectively, not just Paulie Boy's rights or, Hank's rights or whatever. It has to be an objective endeavor. We can't play favorites and we can't do nepotism.
Right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. The whole world can roll that way. When the truth is freely shared, we don't rely on authority and budgets and experts. We work together with the truth and each other to accomplish whatever needs to get done. And then we fairly share the responsibilities, the rewards.
Jack, you can't, because your chat's proving right now why we're enslaved. They would put money in the pocket of someone they don't like to support a liar and a hypocrite. That's why we're enslaved. They're claiming they don't like me, but they would buy a book that would put money in my pocket to support a liar and a hypocrite rather than the truth.
Well,
I'm sorry for supporting you, Pussy Paul. I apologize.
I don't want your dirty money for a liar and a hypocrite.
please.
I shouldn't have to get it that way at this point.
Agreed. And we don't need the name calling, please, Hank.
That's the truth of it.
So,
you mean him, Pussy Paul? Well, I am a pussy in some senses. I'm sure we all are. We all have cowardice in us at times.
Sometimes, but here's another way to look at the thing with you and your dad. I understand your stance on your values and your morals. I believe relationships are important and that we ought to help people who have been there for us in the past. Your dad, while you guys have had your disagreements, you can't deny that he has been there for you.
In certain senses, yes.
Yes.
It would work out better for all of us if we were all there for the truth rather than for each other subjectively till we're not.
Well, each other is part of the truth. We can't deny each other because our thoughts on something else. Each other is a part of the true experience that we share. And
right. I don't deny him. I just deny his bullshit, right? It's not like the same thing with me. I don't cut him off. I don't deny him focus group or conversation with me or interaction, sharing freely. I've been forgiving and patient and open to receive and to change for the longest time. But again, that requires two willing and active parties. So you can't achieve closure and reconciliation and resolution without two active, willing, and able parties. And the truth has to be the centric point, right? Or true enough.
Hey, Jack, do you see the irony here?
Which part?
So, a guy who claims to be your internet daddy is having his own daddy issues. Do you see it?
Yeah, you're completely irrelevant and you're not even in the room with us. So just save it, okay? You still haven't gotten the bit or the joke that's like a lot less bit than it is non-bit, I guess, because there is some truth to it. I've had to be a cosmic father to a lot of folks, some of them twice my age, who just can't check their own childlike ego and get in alignment with truth that makes them better, even though they're resistant to it because they don't like that I had to say it, especially in public. There is some truth to the archetypal, right?
There is. Hey, I want to swing
I
back.
I think everybody had. Go ahead. My bad.
Please, thank you.
I think everybody has value, but not everybody deserves a microphone.
Okay, that's a great statement. He just communicated an idea that took me way too long with way too many words, and he did it in like one sentence. I'm going to steal that from you.
Hey,
it's all good.
Back to the willingness to reconcile. It's true. It takes two. And yes, the truth should be the focus, but really in my experience and what I've been learning, truly anything we set out to do, we want to have clarity as for the why, especially. And if the why is to make peace in a relationship, that can become more important than people's beliefs. And it's through the stronger relationships, I believe, that we're able to create a greater influence in the beliefs of others. It's a theory, but it makes sense to me. I just don't know how to convince anyone to give me a chance to focus on peace. I mean, in my own experience. Because Paul, I'd give anything to have an opportunity for my son to talk to me. Even if he yelled at me, I'd feel better than I have for a long time.
I recognize that. And I think that, again, when we go to the archetypal, that there is potentially an opportunity here to, as Mr. Slow State has pointed out in his own befuddled way, to simulate the archetypal scenario of father and child cosmically relationship that kind of shifts and moves back and forth at times, right? There are times where we kind of occupy the teacher-student position, either directly or indirectly. So, yeah, when I see you similar to my father in age group, similar at one point in the way that you approach life, but then the updated awareness, right? I was speaking with Jennifer about this yesterday, that regardless of anything else with quote unquote personality defects, and I'm sure we're both capable of pointing out at least a few in each other, we can align and resonate on a few core values. So that kind of allows you to then realize the actualization and realization of self. The more that you become aware and conscious of self and what's going on in the world, the more you can become response able and account able. If we can check our ego and the beliefs and what we're used to and been grown up in. So again, I've told you in the past that I don't agree with certain ways that you approach life because I don't believe there's a cause and effect basis there. But maybe you know something. This is where I gaslight myself. Maybe you know something that the rest of us don't, right? So I hold out faith that more will be revealed, right? But again, I can't even get my father to stop voting for Donnie. He says he's going to do it again. I can't stop him from supporting a medical system that wants to fuck him up the ass, you know, literally and figuratively, to cure his prostate cancer now, right? It's amazing. He just watched my whole family die of cancer. Mother, grandmother, watched the woman, his brother, and then the woman he's with take the thing from the last 4 years and get things all over, you know, or some kind of, you know, tumors, whatever. And he's going to go right back into the sheep shearing pen. So what do you do with that, right? Other than you have love and care for these people, but you're almost shocked at their ability to continue their insanity and rebuke and reject their own self-care and a care for every other self who extends off of them. How am I supposed to process that exactly? Other than surrender and, you know?
That's it. I hate to say it. It is surrender and accept. That's how they are. Holy shit. I don't really understand it, but I accept. Because when we don't accept, we deny ourselves a chance to actually understand. And
why do you think they do that?
People?
Yeah, it's more at Paul, but it is an open question, really. Why do people behave that way? Because I agree with Paul's observation about his dad and family and shit, right? Like we all can see what is so plainly obvious.
I see people. Well, people are the result of the life they've lived. We are all the result of the conditioning and the traditions of this society we were born into. Now, it sounds like Paul saw through a lot of traditions and stuff earlier in his life. Maybe didn't understand why others were doing it the way they were, because a lot of the ways of the world don't fucking make sense.
Yeah.
They don't. But people
Jack, this is where I say that you may be, you know, again, unless you're this is what you want. This is either what you want in your ego or it's a testament to your good-heartedness. I'm not willing to concede and give these folks that much credit that they just don't see. I literally have my father tell me, I'm not disagreeing with anything of what you're saying. I'm just not going to do anything different. I had a guy who was supposed to be my superior where I used to work when they covered their faces and took the, you know what. He said to me one day, he's ex-military, right? He was supposed to be a hero and all the rest of it. He goes, oh, I know it's all bullshit, but I'm going to continue to go along with it because it just makes my life easier.
It's cool.
And I was astounded that he would admit to me he could cognize everything that I was saying was true, that he's actively going to live a lie because he believes to live in and of the world, his life will just be easier and more comfortable. You can't get any more condemning in dishonor and bad faith. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're literally doing.
Humans are good at coping. It's how we survive. It's a natural instinct.
It is. But what you're describing, it's the American way. People have been studying people for a long time. And so the natural tendencies of people have been used against us. That's why people get so excited, go stand in line and cast a fucking vote for someone else that they don't even know. You know, This world is so backwards. But I also think when you were describing that, Paul, I also think that's why God sent us Jesus. The example to show that, hey, the ways of the world, everyone enabling, saying, oh, I'll just go along because it makes my life easier. Yeah, that's exactly what the governments and corporations, and that's what they're all waiting for. Everyone to go along.
So I agree with Paul. If we deviate from his decision tree even slightly, we are stupid. I agree.
Again, that's your ego and arrogance that you keep projecting onto me, and I wish you'd all would stop it, because there's about 80 in chat doing it right now. At some point, you're going to realize what this game is.
Me.
This is not about my subjective perspective. This is about cause and effect. You're another jabbed up slave. So you already proved you have no discernment.
And you're
a willful follower slave. You have no discernment, and you're projecting your ignorance and arrogance onto me. I have the discernment. I've proven it over and over again. Jack just pointed it out. Well, I have discernment that folks my own father and people twice my age can't achieve, apparently. Or I have a will to go past my own fears and not be a coward. They can't do that either. So that's a bad combo. When you're not only undiscerning, have no awareness, and you're a punk coward, but like to call other people ignorant, arrogant, and pussies. How ironic.
Please.
Oh, I said enough there.
Well, yeah. Hey,
show me where anything I said was patently false.
I wanted to come back to the frustrating. I wanted to come back to the frustrations that I can understand with you and your father. It's just an example. It could be any other relationship too, though. Okay?
Can I get back to you on that? Because I'm going to have a long list, bud.
You're like really desperate and needy to be seen and heard, and you're not saying or doing anything. So there's your arrogance and ego again.
Of course. I'm not even here.
Remember what the guy said earlier. Everyone has value, but not everyone should keep taking the microphone.
That's true.
Maybe you should take that advice.
Jack's agreeing. Your daddy here, your white daddy, like Mr. Drummond, is agreeing. Either take a seat or get on his knee and let him talk.
My parents' daddy is Gen X.
Let's go, Willis. Mute up.
You should have said
from my own experience, if you can play with this idea, Paul, we don't get to control others.
No, they have to control themselves, and they're really bad at it.
Right. And so then we get to decide, okay, if I can't control this person and they're still going to be the way that they are, what do I do?
I accept them for being their lowly, ignorant, arrogant, retarded self. And I love them the way they are.
Well, I haven't felt that really.
Well, just because you can't feel it doesn't mean it's not real.
So I work as a trainer professionally. So I don't necessarily give up on people. I work to see, I analyze them, how they behave, and see if there's any other way I could show them the light.
There you go. Your ignorance and arrogance again. What, the light of Lucifer to get jabbed up and live in their daddy's house? Please.
No.
If you could just check your ego and arrogance and ignorance for 3 seconds, we could actually move on to something relevant and captivating.
Pass a test.
If you could just stop pretending to be a life coach like Jack, we could actually get real with ourselves and each other.
Hey, Paul, that's actually something else.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That was my passive-aggressive bitterness with your nonsense. I shouldn't have done that right there. I could have saved that for another time. We were doing so well.
Everything, all Paul's decisions are correct according to Paul.
Okay. You know what? I back out here, Jack. Let me just back away slowly. It was going so well, and I can already feel where this is. It was bound to head that way.
I'm seeing Hank. He wants your attention. He wants.
I know.
He wants your
attention. A lot of the tards online need daddy's attention.
Well, you're a big target. You're loud and obnoxious, and
and fat, Jack. You forgot fat. Well, actually, you did kind of say fat. The big was right. We got it. We know all the negative, bad qualities of Paul, and we won't focus on the good qualities and try to achieve them and attain them, because then it would be my ego and arrogance to work on our character.
Paul,
hey, let's get back to Jack then.
Yes, please. Look at my name. Let's get back to, and it points right to Jack.
Hey, let's come back to the topic, really. because this might, if this has helped me, okay, in these panels, people have been frustrating me. My triggers, I have found many triggers, things I didn't realize I was still sensitive about in the past. But being able to consciously within just rest, breathe, be still, find peace, find joy, those little mantras within, they make a difference. They really do. And that's kind of this class I started. It's actually, it's on this, the topic is communicating with the other than conscious. I've heard it talked. I know there's ways to communicate with people, not just with the conscious, but the subconscious. And there's methods to bring in the superconscious, which these are just different ways of people pointing at the same things. This one today, though, he goes into some of the techniques for hypnotism. And I've never really dug much into hypnosis, but it makes sense. It's just a patterning and a focusing of the mind.
I can just build off what you're saying, Jack. I don't
conscious brain.
On what?
Again,
without that pesky conscious brain resisting.
That's the key. What were you saying, Paul?
Yeah, I wasn't denying what you're saying. If anything, I'm building off it because I think that we need a toolbox here, right? There's never really one silver bullet or one answer for all situations. So it's like we can come to that peaceful inner space and surrender and kind of let everything, wash away, so to speak. But we also, I believe, have to be conscious in addressing our inner space and our grievances actively and resolving them. So when we see Hank there with the laughing and giggling and the presenting false strength and the deflections and obfuscations, all he's really showing is he's not willing to be honest and real with himself or others. He obviously has a grievance with me and an issue. Instead of just becoming conscious and aware of it and communicating it and getting resolved, he's going to continue to play this game that never ends or leads anywhere.
I was waiting for you to be ready because I'm too harsh. So I'm going to wait till you're ready.
That's passive aggressive and it's disingenuous. You don't wait for me to be ready for you to express openly and honestly and resolve conflicts you have that I don't have, because it's apparent to everyone in the room, whether you're aware of it or not, that every time I come somewhere, you constantly snipe at me. You constantly have something to say about me. You force an interaction between us instead of just addressing your childish grievances that you have with me and your feelers.
So
and getting over it and moving on.
The problem is that I told you directly multiple times and you still don't understand the issue.
That doesn't give us any more clarity. You have an issue with yourself and me. So figure it out or address it with me, or just put it to the side, because you constantly get in your own way and get in everyone else's way with your issue with me. And many folks do this constantly on these panels.
So I think the time before last time when Jack showed me, you were jingling Jack's keys to show you had power when he was trying to talk to another guest.
So we're living in the past constantly. We're never able to, like, you're here next to Jack, but you're not interested in what he's saying when what he's saying is true and applicable. And you're definitely not interested in living that for your own betterment. And that's obvious. So I'm not in last 2 broadcasts ago when I had keys. It's like it doesn't even exist to me at this point because I'm here now.
Okay, so he's not going to get through. I shouldn't push the issue. He's not going to get it.
That's part of our life and part of acceptance is realizing that I'm going to use you, Hank, because that's what Paul pointed out. What Hank does is a reflection of him and his character. What I've been trying to do more of is present the truth. Hey, this is what I see. What is the reality? But my experience, people don't actually explain themselves. They don't actually answer questions. They don't actually know. So what else are you going to do? You can get pissed off at people for being how they are, or just accept it. And that's what I've been doing, is really learning how to pick my battles. My number one battle is with the structures and laws of the government and the corporations, the banking systems. Those are my enemies. My allies are anyone who's fed up with those, the governments, the banks, and the corporations. So I'm searching for allies.
So then, by definition of what you just said, we can't correct the problem unless we defeat them. If you make an enemy out of them for making an enemy out of the truth.
I love my enemies. And I know that those enemies who are in Congress and running these corporations, I know those enemies could become great allies. They've already proven themselves by rising to successful places. They've already accomplished shit. Unlike a lot of the people I've been...
It could be great allies, like many folks in your life, if you would stop seeing them as your greatest detractors and enemies, which you just said you won't. I know, I'm one example. So the more you keep seeing folks as your enemies because you think they've made an enemy out of the truth, well, then the only way you resolve with them is to do war. And I thought you were here to end wars.
Well, I am. And if you understand what I'm saying, I'm not talking about going to war. And my enemy is the structures, the people. The people are confused. I'm not going to blame people until I talk to them and I know exactly what they have and have not chosen, what they have and have not known. So,
Word.
I mean, I'd really love for people to give me that opportunity, but hey, we live in the world of the confused and we're all here figuring it out ourselves.
So you went from calling people enemies to making yourself a victim. I don't see how that's productive either.
Why? Where did you hear me?
Nobody's giving you a chance.
Paul,
every day you wake up, everyone's given a chance here in this world to prove who and what they are and what they serve.
What I said was that I wish people would actually ask questions, give me a benefit of a doubt, instead of just, like you presume, people want to treat me like an enemy. Treat me as someone who's worthy of disrespect, to be name called, to be all sorts of bullshit. I didn't.
Isn't that the walk of Jesus?
Hey, Paul.
I'm just calling you on what's obvious hypocritical bullshit. I mean, at the end, I get that it happens. I do the same thing myself, but I have to reconcile that we can't claim to be walking the way of the Christed being and not have all those things happen. Blessed are the persecuted in the name of truth and righteousness.
Right. I don't need you playing the role of my persecutor so that you believe what you think.
Do you feel persecuted?
Paul, the facts are
according to you.
So if you want to view facts and then label me as a victim, that's on you. I did not claim to be a victim. I've claimed to be learning a lot of lessons in my life.
So then you're thankful and grateful.
Well, I am about many things, but Paul, here's something I misspoke last time you visited. I was rude to you and I said, I don't need you, which is true. I do not need any man, any woman. I need no one in this world. I've grown comfortable with that. But there's people in the world where I see talent, I see a spark, I find myself having fun with them. I was offering friendship. Now, if you don't want my friendship, you don't want to trust me, that's fine. You're missing out.
Yeah, you really are.
Everyone is. My son is missing out. My neighbors are missing out. My old buddies are missing out. They'd rather believe I'm someone worthy of avoiding, calling names, making fun.
The thing about it is, Jack, is you don't get to decide what other people's experience of you is.
I know. I get to choose what I offer them, just as they get to choose what they offer me. I've offered apologies.
Friendship.
Well, it depends on who you're talking about.
I'm asking you. You're the one making the offer.
No, actually, I envision. I mean, I could see Paul and I actually having fun and doing some cool things. It doesn't mean it's a next 20-year commitment or some shit. It could be for a few weeks.
Even the way you speak is defeatist. It's given up. It's delusional. As if we haven't had as if we haven't had tons of fun and good times and cool things that you throw away at the moment's notice.
That's
when
not
your
how I took
feelers
it. It sounded like he was describing the fun he's having with you right now.
The defense counsel.
Well, I know we can have fun, Paul.
He's always talking about the past that hasn't gone in his favor and ignoring the possibilities and potential and what the facts show now.
Right. And you're still not acknowledging what I'm doing. I mean, the topic today, rest, being calm, being present, being peace, being love, right? These are the things I talk about. And for whatever reason, I said this earlier. And Paul, you're right. I can only control what I offer. Now, what I can do to encourage or invite others to try taking me seriously, I've done my best. It's brought me to here. And actually, I'm looking at the time. City Council starts in about an hour. I went down there last week, asked for them to at least allow us a conversation to discuss ways that the community might help someone like me get before Congress. Now, I know how stupid, how crazy that sounds, but hell, I'm Jack Talcott, damn it. I'm going to do what feels right for me, so I think I'm going to go back to City Council and find out what's going on.
Yes, and I'm glad we got to the point where Jack can make the connection himself, and we can ignore scamming people like Margot.
Yeah, see, this is something too. She has said so much. I really don't know what is true and what is not. I know that I've had a lot of challenges getting anyone in town to talk to me. And Margot's bragged about making sure that continues. And, you know, maybe it's time to wrap up because the memories coming into my mind are not very pleasant right now. And I don't want to start calling people out.
Are you going to speak during the
Well, you can choose to look at her as a teacher through testing and challenging of your faith, Jack. I mean, there's always that option. Maybe it's time, you know, with the house and the townspeople and everything else, maybe the universe is showing you it's time to move on. You know, maybe there's greener pastures. Maybe there's more receptive community or audience somewhere else. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if all signs are pointing to it's not working in certain situations where you're at, well, you know, if you feel you've changed who you are and you feel maybe you could start over. You know, I'm sure a lot of us at times have had to start over, make a change within ourselves and move on and start over so that we can start fresh, have new opportunities, new people, new places, new things to do and be. You know,
I've done that a lot. I've even done that here. I became a stranger in my hometown. My friends and others don't want me around, so I walked away from them. It's a big town. But for whatever reason, wherever I go, I'm still not making a lot of connections. And,
all right, Zach, let's get down to business. This is what everybody really wants to know. What's it going to take for you to shout out Flow State from the podium?
To shout out or kick?
No,
because I was actually where I had to censor myself was actually about you, Flow State.
Oh, well, I guess kick will work too, but can I know why?
You're enabling.
Can I answer and see if... Oh, okay. I want to see if I can answer.
Negative. Let Jack answer.
Well, Jack will have time. It's his panel, but it might be... we might hear Paul have a chance to take a shot.
No, the answer I said, it was what came to my mind when I was discussing Margot was just how warmly and supported she was with you, Flow State. And then with that memory comes your other fine choices of describing.
You're mad because I don't hate Margot?
No, because you've never acknowledged your ad hominems, your character attacks of me and my character were inappropriate, unhealthy, and completely out of line. So
which ones?
Vindictive, slimy piece of shit, deceiver, liar.
That's him.
You've said a lot. Those are just the ones I can
That's
remember.
him.
Do you disagree that you were vindictive?
Yes, I absolutely disagree. And here, the funny
Exhibit
thing
A.
is, if you look at yourself, exactly what you were doing to me was vindictive.
Man, I was just going to say you're a parasite user, and that was made evidence by the fact that you sat here the whole broadcast only to try to manipulate Jack to shout you out at his city council meeting because you're too much of a coward to go down there and speak for yourself, and you're too horrible of a speaker to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now that sounds like a challenge.
Do you guys live near each other?
No. Actually,
I had no idea that he had city council meeting tonight.
You know, I assumed Flo wanted a shout out from here.
Usually user parasites attract user parasites. It's not a coincidence.
No, I just kept silent most of the time because the sexual tension was so thick in here I could barely breathe.
There's the projection again. You're the one with the light blue, dark earrings.
Is that why it smells like baby powder in here?
Yeah.
That's his crotch.
Hey,
so Jack, you can dress me down anytime. I probably need an intervention anyways.
Don't do it; it'll turn them on.
I'm sure. Hey,
so about that shout out,
it's not going to happen.
You're going to have to make your own way in this life with the drywall and with the speaking, huh?
Well, here, why on earth would I even consider offering you a shout out and a promotion after the hours and the gossip and the bullshit you have talked about me?
Well, Jack, why don't you just offer what he offers? Like the cheap hoe that he is. If you give him $50, maybe he'll promote you like you do on your horrible channel, desperate for money. Like a stripper.
Oh my God, I've lived this moment before.
Right?
Yeah, it's the loop.
Oh my God, I just got the most intense deja vu that I've ever had in my life. Wasn't that quote verbatim from a clip I've seen or some shit?
Yeah, I wasn't there last time, but I'm here.
Flo, what were you just saying? Sorry, while I was talking over you.
Parasite here. I don't even remember the question now.
That was weird. That was weird.
Hey, I think I am ready to wrap up. I want to thank all of you for joining. We've had our differences, many of us, in the past, but I felt peace today, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I think Demolish has been here, but I don't know if he even said anything.
All right, Jack, I'm out here. I'm going to take my leave before it goes bad. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Paul.
I was waiting my turn to say peace and respect to you all, and hello.
Well, sorry it took so long. I appreciate you joining. I do feel like it's time to shut down though, so I can get cleaned up.
I'm sorry you're shutting down. I wanted to have a conversation with you, but perhaps it would be best one-on-one anyway.
He's on tomorrow at same time, same place.
Now we're all curious. Shut up, Hank.
Well, I am curious. Topic? The topic you want to discuss?
Oh, just anything religious.
Okay.
I live for those discussions. I love those discussions.
I do as well. Can we put a rain check? Can we do this tomorrow, perhaps?
I would happily accept a rain check. Yes.
Appreciate that. Please. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern is my plan for tomorrow. Again.
Lovely.
I appreciate you Yeah, come back for that, please.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going to toss you out, though. I guess you were first in. Denizen, Flo, Hank took off. Flo?
I can't think about anything except the deja
Toss
vu I just
Denizen
experienced.
out. Bye, Denizen. We've had enough of your bullshit.
What were you saying, Denizen?
I just can't think about anything except the deja vu I just experienced. Jack. Seriously though, that was weird. It's so weird. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the clip again. I felt like I saw the future, and it just happened. I don't get deja vu. That does not happen to me. So,
all right. I'm not sure what you caught. Please go back, and I look forward to hearing more about it. We'll see what you connect with. Okay.
Peace out, homie.
Thank you, Denizen. All who joined sincerely, all who joined the panel, joined the chat, tuned in at a later time, sincerely, thank you. I appreciate it. My purpose, my sincere, genuine, honest, true purpose, the only reason I'm here is because I believe this world can change. And I believe this world can change, and my absence of other ideas brought me to here. Okay, so this is where I am. This is not the only place I am, but I am a man who believes that wars can be ended, that the population deserves access to what is true, not just what they're told. Brothers and sisters, we have the opportunity to change this world, and I honestly believe this is God's plans. That's where I'm learning how to rest in me even more, because I know how it sounds, but you believe in your mind and your heart that wars can end. You start crying when you start failing. I've cried a lot of tears because of my failures. I've screamed rage because of my failures. And it's all self-judgment, my own personal expectations, my own personal hopes. You probably do that yourself. We all have these tendencies to place expectations and hopes onto other people, onto situations, onto things. And then, you know, when things don't go right, we throw a temper tantrum like little children. We don't have to live that way. Join me briefly, again, just real quick. Practice this in yourself. You can do it wherever you're going, wherever you're safe, standing, sitting, laying down, whatever. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Close your eyes. Detach from the world. Bring your mind and your focus into the space within your being. Allow your body to loosen. Bring your mind into your forehead and feel your face relax. Allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your breathing just to be calm. And so it's an in and out. It's just a fluid motion. It's just a breath. And that breath is your life. And so if you can bring yourself into the peace of being in the moment, just to clear your mind for a moment, do that as often as you can, because you can always pick up the problems again. You can always pick up the fights again, but set it all down. Give yourself the peace and the joy of life. You deserve it. We all do. I don't know. God decides what we deserve. We decide what we choose. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, thank you again. I honor and appreciate all of you. I'm going to go explore and see what I may discover later. And for those who do tune in, please return again tomorrow. We'll see what the future brings. Until then, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all.